World Vision International is an evangelical Christian humanitarian aid, development, and advocacy organization. And this has grown into one of the largest relief and development organizations in the world. Their total revenue is about 2.79 billion back in 2011. So they recently announced that they were going to start hiring Christians in same-sex marriages. Kind of a big deal because it is a Christian institution. And they immediately received a barrage of criticism from evangelical leaders. A bunch of different sponsoring organizations pulled their funding, essentially saying, if you hire gay people, then we are going to pull our funding, which will make children around the world starve. So against hiring individuals who are in same-sex relationships, where some of these sponsoring organizations, that they would rather see children starve as a result of them pulling their funding than see any gay people be hired. And this actually had an effect immediately. Within like 2 days or so, World Vision decided to reverse their decision. They said, oh, we're actually not going to be doing that. There was a big hubbub and people didn't like it. And this is just incredible. I mean, the estimates are that of the 1.2 million children sponsored by World Vision US specifically, 2,000 of those children would have lost sponsorship funding altogether because of the anti-gay backlash to this decision. What's Christian about pulling funding so that kids no longer have money for food over gay marriage? It just doesn't sound like what Jesus would have wanted.
I guess if you ask these people, they'll tell you that there's no way Jesus would allow for, I don't know, same-sex Christians to be involved in anything happening here. But it just shows where their priorities are.
It's very clear where the priorities are. And Andrew wrote to me and he said, I've seen people advocate two different responses here. And I want to hear from you, David, about which you think is more appropriate. One is, well, everybody should boycott World Vision and move donations to a charity that doesn't discriminate. Number two is, actually, we should start donating to World Vision to balance out the losses from those anti-gay evangelicals who have pulled their funding. Well, it's kind of moot now because World Vision has gone back on their decision. Had they not, I would say that if they were taking the point of view of equality, then absolutely they should be funded. Christian organizations that are making sense here, they're saying, wait a second. We're Christians. We don't care about gay marriage. We care about feeding the poor and feeding kids, and that's what we're going to do. That should be applauded. However, since they've gone back on their decision, I say absolutely fund other organizations that are doing similar work. There's no reason at all, if you're trying to help feed children around the world, the last thing you need to be doing is funneling the money through an organization that's anti-gay. You just don't need to do it.
Right. The whole thing is pretty unfortunate, but I imagine eventually this decision will come up again, and hopefully the right thing will happen.